Hi, and welcome back to another case study. Today, we're going to be meeting with Tian. He's a student of mine that joined in January 2024. At the time of recording this video, which is October 2024, he has his first deal under management, and it's very exciting to be going on this journey with him. In this video, we're going to learn a little bit more about who Tian is as an investor. We'll look at the deal, we'll look at the before photos and the after photos, and we'll also look through his numbers to see what his return on investment is. Now, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button. I share lots of valuable content and lots of case studies of success stories. And if you like the content, give it a like and share with friends and family, because you know what? Sharing is caring. I educate people to reach financial freedom through property through cash flow positive investments, specializing in the low income multi-let residential market. Tian, now without further ado, Tian, do you mind introducing yourself?
Good day, everybody. My name is Tian Benori. I am a quantity surveyor. I studied in Bloemfontein in the Free State and finished my studies in 2016. I moved to Centurion with my wife in 2017. We have two beautiful, busy boys now. I recently started my journey with Lawrence in 2024 this year in January. Recently started property investment to have generational wealth and to pass on the wealth to my kids.
Thanks for that short intro, Tian. Let's get to know you a little bit more. I've got some questions. So the first one is, why do you like property as an investment vehicle?
I think property is a good investment for long-term growth and for a steady income. I think property will always be in demand. We saw it in COVID when everybody needed a roof over their head. You can let go of Wi-Fi and some other items, but you can't let go of a roof over your head.
That's true. It's an essential need. It's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And what strategy did you get involved in, and why that strategy?
So my strategy is the buy-to-let strategy. I'm still a newbie in this, and I will scale up as I go along.
And what area did you choose to do the buy-to-let strategy, and why that area?
So I invested in Johannesburg. It's a positive cash flow area. It's also closer to our work. That's why I chose Johannesburg. Pretoria also has positive cash flow areas, but in comparison to our work, I think it's just better to, and that's the reason why I chose Johannesburg.
Nice. Yeah, I think Johannesburg also has a lot more stock and a lot more options. Pretoria, yes, it's got some potential for cash flow, but doesn't have as much stock or as much options.
Mm.
And then why did you decide to join my program?
I joined because in property investment, you can easily make a mistake that will cost you thousands down the drain. I needed a mentor to push me and guide me to make a positive cash flow investment. One guy's book that I read, Tim Ferriss, he said, um, paralysis by analysis. So you can do as much Excel spreadsheets as you want to, but you have to take the leap.
Well, thanks for joining my program and trusting me on this journey. The proof is in the pudding, because you now have your first buy-to-let investment. So let's go in and learn more about your deal. So Tian, here is your first investment in Berea, Johannesburg. It's a building called Berea Towers, and it's a single-let strategy. So tell me, how does it feel looking at this property, knowing that you have a piece of this pie?
I'm very happy and I'm excited to be part of this and actually get out of the rat race eventually.
And what floor is the unit that you bought?
It's in the third floor, yeah.
And was the lift working? Or did you take the stairs?
The lift was actually working. So
Ah,
we went to three other properties, me and the agent, and the other two properties lifts didn't work. That was already for me red light and indication for the
yeah.
corporate looking at the taking after the place.
And you found this property on Property 24, is that correct?
I viewed multiple properties, and this one caught my attention because of the price and the bedrooms and the squares.
Yeah, it's
So
massive, eh?
um,
105 square meters. That could
significant.
be converted even into a three-bed later on
Yes.
down the line if you
So
wanted.
when I was there, it was already a three-bedroom,
Okay.
and it is currently actually converted into a four-bedroom.
So how many tenants do you have?
I have three tenants.
Let's have a look at some of the photos. So this is the before. Looks like the previous landlord was quite stingy with their renovations. How was this viewing
Definitely.
for you, and what did you pick up?
Well, being in construction, I actually knew this was I think, an easy fix because it was only makeup. It was paintwork, and some few cupboards and a floor here and there that has to be that had to be retiled. So I could see that the renovation cost wouldn't be as much.
Yeah, it's all cosmetic, like you said. It's the makeup, the bones and the structure's all good. It's
Mm,
funny for me that the previous landlord didn't just put a little bit of money into renovate and make it a bit more livable, a bit nicer. It's also just going to work in your favor that your tenants will pay you. Okay, and then you
definitely.
started your renovations. How did you build your team, or did you use an inspector's team?
One of the agents recommended one guy to me, does renovations in that area, and he actually did, I think, like six renovations in that same building. He has guys on standby the whole time. He also stays close by. Whenever there's an issue or anything, he will gladly go there and assist.
Nice. So you're starting to build your team, right? You've got your agent, you've got
Yes.
your preferred building, you've got now a contractor that you've used, worked with, that you trust,
Mm.
that knows the area. And how often did you go and check up on the work that was being done?
Initially, I went the first time to inspect the building and see what had to be done. The second time, while they were busy with the renovations, and then I also went on the third time to inspect the afterwork.
Oh, after work looks pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
chalk
it's
and
much
cheese
better.
to what we saw in the first photo. I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's day and night.
Yeah.
They're still busy with here and there with small items, but it's a much better picture now. And
Wow.
if you want to renovate it now, if you want to rent it out again, then
And I'm
easier.
sure your tenants are much happier now because they've got a decent standard of living as opposed to living in
Definitely.
a bit of a almost like a hijacked unit, it felt like.
It felt like a hijacked unit.
And
They happy and yeah, it's a livable area now actually. To be
yeah.
proud of.
How much did you spend on renos?
I spent just above 24,000 Rand on renovations. Usually the paint is your might be your biggest one, but
Yeah.
it's paint makes a big difference.
Yeah. Geez, but I mean 24,000 is, what do you get in the more affluent market? You can't even get a nice kitchen for 24,000. Here you've
Exactly.
renovated
Exactly.
a whole unit. You've repainted, you've cleaned up the cupboards, you've did you do any tiling? No.
I did some epoxy flooring, that red
Okay.
floor.
Yes. Nice.
Um, we painted all the cupboards as well in the BICs in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
We painted the gate that you enter at, and I think there's the only thing outstanding is some windows, one or two broken
Okay.
windows.
Sure, but for 24,000 Rand, I think you got a very fair deal here and a
Mm.
good product. Let's move over to the numbers, which is why we buy property, not just for the prettiness, but to make sure it's profitable. Let's start off with the purchase price. What did you negotiate with the seller?
The asking price actually was 330,000 Rand.
Yeah.
My offer price to the seller was 260,000 Rand, which is a 26% discount. But we later settled on a 280,000 Rand discount, which is about, I think, 17% discount, which I think is
Nice.
fairly good. I got finance through banks at 100% loan to value for 20 years.
At what interest rate?
11.49,
Amazing. Okay,
25%.
so you're getting rent of 6.8. I just want to quickly work out your gross yield. I like doing that calculation. So 6.8 times 12 divided by 280 gives you a 29% yield.
Yes, that's very good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's great. So yeah, so you've got 100% finance. That's that 2984 bond repayment. Then you've got your levies, your management. What about provisions for those, new investors who don't really have any skin in the game? What are provisions set aside for?
So my provisions was I had a 9% and an 8% for maintenance and vacancy allowance.
Okay, so 17% actually is going to be coming into your pocket.
It's
Um,
actually going into your pocket, but yeah,
but you're going to put
it's
it into
also set
another
aside.
you're going to put it into
Mm,
another savings account so that you've got a kitty that you can tap into if there's bad debts or if there's maintenance or issues like that.
yes, yes, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so profit of 388, you only put in the transfer fees and the reno cost, and that's why the return on your investment is 9.12% in year one,
Mm,
which should just go up as rental escalation outperforms inflation. So this should be the minimum return that you get, and slowly but surely it'll just keep compounding and growing.
yes, yes. That's the
How does
game
it
plan.
how does it feel, man? I think you did a great purchase here. I really
I'm
do.
really excited. I'm really happy, honestly, and I also want to thank you again for assisting with all the questions I had and discussions I had with you throughout the whole process. You assisted me a lot.
Awesome, man. I'm glad. Let's end with a couple of lessons learned. So for those new people who are watching and who are very interested in getting in, but have never started, what words of advice do you have for them?
Always have patience. I looked at a lot of deals, and if a deal is usually too good to be true, it usually is. You have to know your market. I think,
And tell me
yeah,
how many deals, well, it took us about 6 months from Jan,
yes,
probably 6 months to get a deal under contract. Then it was a 2, 3 month transfer window. So it took you 9 months to close a transaction. But how many deals did you analyze? How many viewings did you do?
on Excel spreadsheets, I did like 100 views, 100 views on property 24, but I went to 8 properties. So yeah, the first one won't will be the best one.
You did over 100 deal analysis, and then you went and viewed eight, and thus you were able to get one secured. So that's a
Yes,
good recipe for success for those newbies that are looking at this. There's a lot of hard work. You don't get a six pack for
definitely.
nothing. You have to do the 100 sit-ups every day, and that's how you get the six pack.
Focus being on being productive instead of busy. You can do a hell of a lot of Excel spreadsheets and this and that, but you have to go there and do the work and view the properties and ask the questions to the estate agents. But you have to take action. And also don't underestimate your renovation costs.
Tian, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure and a privilege to have you on the show. And thank you for joining my coaching program. But more, thank you for taking the action. Knowledge is powerful, but without taking action, that knowledge is wasted. Now, before I let you go, is there any last bit of feedback or closing comment that you'd like to end with?
If I didn't have a mentor, I would still be where I was 9 months ago without the property. A mentor will give you the motivation. He will teach you where to look for a property, what to look for in a property, how to look for a property, and he will assist you in avoiding all these costs that are incurred.
I hope you enjoyed this case study as much as I enjoyed working with Tian. If you'd like to enroll for my coaching program, click the link in my bio. It'll take you to my website where you can book an intro call with me. During that call, we'll discuss what your needs are and whether my program is a good fit. Until next time, happy investing.